Okay, in today's video, we're going to talk about x and y intercepts. So you're going to find that today it's all about where does my graph cross on the x-axis and on the y-axis. So we have an example here. We have a line. Here's our x-axis, our y-axis. Okay. The point at which the line intersects the x-axis is the x-intercept. So this would be our x-intercept, because it is on the x-axis. And then our y-intercept is the point at which it intersects the y-axis, so it would be right here. And that's what we're looking for today. Where is one value 0 and the other value not 0? So in our example, let's go ahead and identify those. The x-intercept over here, let's figure out what is the coordinate value there. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8. Now, x as a coordinate here would be 8, 0. The value of x is 8 and the y value is 0. If we were just giving it a coordinate, we were just going to tell you what the coordinate would be on the coordinate plane. And then we're going to look at the y-intercept. Now, the y-intercept always has an x value of 0. But let's see, what are we at here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 as well. So that is 0, 8. So think about that. When they're on a graph, we do list coordinates. We don't just say it's 8. Make sure you're careful with that. So finding them algebraically, which is really what we're going to talk about today, is algebraically and graphing. To find the x-intercept of an equation, we set the y equal to 0 and solve for x. Well, that makes sense. If I want to know the x-intercept has a y value of 0. So if I know one, I can find the other, which we practiced in functions. And it's the opposite for the y-intercept. To find the y-intercept of an equation, we're going to set x equal to 0 and then solve for y. So let's just look at this equation here. I have y equals 3x plus 6. I want to know the x-intercept, which means I want to keep x, and I'm going to put 0 in for y. So I'm going to rewrite that. So that'd be 0 equals 3x plus 6. Oh, that's a two-step equation. Subtract 6 from both sides. So negative 6 equals 3x. We're going to divide both sides by 3. And I'm going to find that x equals negative 2. So if I wanted to write that as an ordered pair, I'd say, well, then my x-intercept is negative 2, 0. Okay, well, let's look at the y-intercept. For the y-intercept, I'm going to put 0 exactly where x is. So now I have y equals 3 times 0 plus 6. So y equals, well, 3 times 0 is 0, right? Plus 6. I know that y is 6. So then for this one, my y-intercept would be 0, 6, which that makes sense. We were practicing that. We know that in slope-intercept form, the constant by itself has a value of 6 for the y-intercept. So practicing what we know about entering zeros, let's go ahead and take a look at number 1. So first up, I'm going to find the x-intercept. Remember, for the x-intercept, I put 0 in for y. So that means 0 equals negative x plus 5. I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides because this is just now a two-step equation. So negative 5 equals negative x. Divide both sides by negative 1 because the x is negative. And so 5 would equal x. So my x-intercept, the x is 5 when I input 0 for y. Now for the y-intercept, well, this is in slope-intercept form, so I actually know what it is, but I'm going to prove it. So I'm going to put 0 in for x. So I have negative 1 times 0 plus 5. Well, 0, right? Negative 1 times 0 is 0 plus 5. That means that the y is 5. So here, when I put 0 in for x, my output is positive 5. So that would be my y-intercept. Okay, number 2, just like the others, the only difference is we have a fraction, and that's okay. We can multiply fractions. We're still going to find our x-intercept. So the x-intercept 0 equals 1/2 x minus 8. We're going to go ahead and add 8 to both sides. So I now have 8 equals 1/2 x. Now remember, if I want to move a fraction, I multiply by its multiplicative inverse. So if I take 1/2 and flip it over, that's 2 over 1. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. So 2 times 8 is 16 equals the 1/2 and the 2 multiplied to make 1 leaves me with x equals 16. So my x-intercept is 16, 0. And then we can look for our y. So our y-intercept is simply y equals 1/2. Instead of x, I'm going to put in 0 minus 8. Well, we know that anything times 0, fraction or a whole number, is still 0. So 0 minus 8 is negative 8. So my y-intercept is 0, negative 8. Okay, let's try this one. Number 3. I have my x-intercept. If I want to know the x, I put 0 in for y. So I have 0 equals negative 4/3 x plus 2. This is a two-step equation. We're going to go ahead and subtract the 2 from both sides. So negative 2 equals negative 4/3 x. Again, when we want to multiply or to undo the multiplication of the slope there, we're going to multiply by its multiplicative inverse. So we're going to flip it over. It's still negative, so times negative 3/4. So the other side is also times negative 3/4. So let's go ahead and figure out what would that be. This would be like multiplying it times negative 2 over 1. Negative times a negative, positive. So this is going to be 6 over 4 equals, now the other side we intentionally multiplied, so that's 1. So 6 over 4 equals x. I do know that my fractions should always be simplified. So 6 over 4 is the same as, 3 over 2. So when I go to write this here, I'm going to say, well, no, my x is going to be 3/2 when my y is 0. And then we'll try our y-intercept. Our y-intercept is just where the x is 0. So y equals negative 4/3 times 0 plus 2. Of course, anything times 0 is 0, and 0 plus 2 is 2. So my y-intercept is 0, 2. I think I like doing and the y-intercept is a little faster. So let's go ahead and flip the page. And we have 4, 5, and 6. I want you to go ahead and pause and see if you can find 4, 5, and 6. Remember, you are going to put 0 in for y when you want x. When you want y, or x, you put 0 in for y. So you're going to flip-flop back and forth and find your y-intercepts and x-intercepts. All right, so for number 4, my x-intercept was 2, 0. My y-intercept was 0, negative 2. And then 5, my x-intercept for 0. For y, 0, negative 6. And for number 6, my x-intercept was a fraction, so negative 5 over 4 after I simplified. So negative 5 over 4, 0. And then for the y-intercept, it was 0, negative 1. So what we have next is we want to look at graphing each of these. And so to do so, what I'm going to ask you to do is we're going to find the x-intercept and the y-intercept of each, and then we're just going to graph. So x and y, okay, so if I want to find the x-intercept, it's going to be x plus 0 equals 3, right? So x equals 3. There's my x-intercept. My y-intercept, it would be 0 plus y equals 3. Well, 0 plus y, I don't need the 0, so that would just be y equals 3. And then we graph. This is 3, 0. This is 0, 3. So 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. Right? 1, 2. Oh, I was off 1. Let me fix that. 3. So 1, 2, 3. And 3 or 0 through is 1, 2, 3 here. So now we have 2. And unlike when we're trying to find slope, we are just going to draw the line straight through those 2. Okay. Number 4, same thing. We're going to find the x-intercept, we're going to find the y-intercept, and then we're going to put them on the x and the y. We're just going to draw a line straight through them. So if I want to know the x-intercept, I put 0 in for y. So that would be negative 4x plus 5 times 0 equals 20. So negative 4x equals 20. Let's go ahead and divide both sides by negative 4. So x would equal negative 5. That would make my x-intercept negative 5, 0. Okay, I can go ahead and put that on here. Negative 5, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I need to find the y-intercept as well. So for the y-intercept, I'm going to put 0 in for x. So I would have negative 4 times 0 plus 5y equals 20. Well, that would just be 5y equals 20 because 4 and 0 make 0. Divide both sides by y, or by 5 to get y by itself, and that means y would equal 4. So that would be 0, 4. So I'm going to go here, 0 up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I can just draw my graph. You go ahead and you try number 9 and number 10 and come back and take a look. Okay, so for number 9, my x-intercept was 5, 0, and my y-intercept was 0, negative 3. And I went and graphed those and put my line on. And then for number 10, my x-intercept was 7 halves. And, well, I had to stop and think, where is 7 halves at on a graph? And 7 halves is equal to 3.5. So I had to kind of go between the 3 and the 4. And so there's 7 halves, 0. And then my y-intercept was 0, negative 7. So I have that graphed, and then I drew my line in between. So again, our x-intercept is where the y is 0. So I just plug 0 in for y and solve for x. My y-intercept is where the x is 0. So I plug 0 in for x and solve for y, and that will be my y-intercept. Then I just graph each one individually and connect my line.